Hi. Okay, so welcome to a new video. We are continuing on in a series I've been doing all year so far. So every month we're doing a video reading 5 romance books that are within a specific trope. And the point of this video just very much to see what I actually like, get a better sense of like where my interests lie in romance book, and also really just get a better overview of the genre as a whole and just, try different books, try different things. So today we are doing a genre that I have very mixed feelings on, in that I think I like it, but I can't at the top of my head come up with many examples of ones that I have enjoyed, and that is mafia romance. So I know this is a very, very popular subsection of romance books, and in particular like very dark romance typically, or more suspense romance. Like they tend to fall within those veins, and I do think I've enjoyed a few but if you were to ask me to name a few of them, like I don't think I could. So this is one that I really want to experiment and see if I can get a better idea of maybe some more authors I like. So we have 5 books. One of them is going to be a sequel to one I've read before, and that is one I have enjoyed. So that's like one of the few ones I can think of. So I guess two of the authors are ones that I've read from before. But that also brings us 3 new authors, and we'll see if there's any of these that I actually particularly enjoy. So the 5 books that we're going to be reading today are Blood of My Monster. This is by Rena Kent. I've read one book from her before, which I didn't really enjoy, but she is a very popular like dark romance author, so I would like to try some more things. Stolen Air. This is by Sophie Lark, and it is the second book in her something mafia romance series. Enjoyed the first one, so I'm interested to continue. Painted Scars, When She Unravels, and Mafia Mistress. So the final 3, don't really know too much about them, but I did for this video really was watching a ton of booktuber recommendations for mafia romances, and these were 3 that sounded interesting to me, and can't really bring up, or off the top of my head can't tell you the synopsis of them right now, but they sounded interesting. They sounded very interesting when I heard about them. So those are the 5 books that we're reading, and let us just dive into reading these books. I'm super excited, and I hope you are as well. So let's get going. Welcome to the hotel in my terrible lighting. Here's my coffee maker. Here's my bathroom. This is closet bed. This is actual bed. And here's my lovely view of, I don't know, a parking lot and some buildings. So yay, exciting. So yeah, this lighting, incredibly red, but I didn't bring any lights with me, didn't bring anything, even though I knew I'd be reading this week, but like, whatever. I'm in Edmonton for the next 2 days just for work stuff, and just finished getting ready for the morning. Figured I would update. So I got in, it was like 1 p.m. my time last night, and yeah, ridiculously exhausted, but did finish reading Stolen Air on the flight, which was good. We had like a 4-hour flight, so I had tons of time to read. I really focused on a lot of things, which felt so great. But what can I say about Stolen Air? I do have to say I found it a little boring, and it reminded me a lot of many other stories that I've read, not just like mafia romances, but just romances in general. Like, so we're following a daughter of a mafia family. They're at war with this other family, and the head of that one decides to abduct her and just kind of make the family pay. That way, just make them like a bit miserable and really make them suffer. But while he has her in captivity, they end up falling in love, and it was just kind of boring. So female main character, she is, even though having been like grown up in this mafia family, still really knows nothing about it. And she's also a ballerina, and that was a huge focus of this book. It was just, she is intensely into ballet and trying to choreograph a new ballet. And like, even when she's in captivity, it seems genuinely like she feels no stress whatsoever about what's going on. It seems like she is 100% just like along for the ride, and doesn't feel a danger at any point, and spends all of her days just doing ballet. And like very quickly too, you can see her captor, like he does not, like originally he was going to torture her, he was going to make her miserable, and you could see within like a day or two he's like, that's no fun, whatever, let's just let her do her thing. And you could see so quickly that both of them just kind of like, weren't all that worried about this. But it was okay. It didn't have like that many high stakes, I felt like, so like not enough to make me really excited about anything, unfortunately. So this one is only a 3-star. Like, writing's decent, story was decent. It just wasn't anything very exciting. So yeah, there's that, but one done. So today I'm in meetings for pretty much all the day. I did start a few other books, but I will talk more about those maybe when I come home, and catch you later. I'm making like a mental note to myself to always bring a tripod and lights from now on, because I've been like trying to find a good angle to film from. This is still terrible. Let's be real. This is still very, very terrible, but it was kind of like the best I could find in this room. And the only one where the lighting didn't make me look like intensely red. So there's that. It's now Friday morning, so I'm just kind of getting my stuff together right now, about to head to the airport, but I figured it'd probably be a good idea to update a bit now because I started like 3 of the books, so might as well talk about those before I definitely finish at least 1 or 2 of them on the plane. And yeah, I like hadn't really been able to focus on anything when in some sense I was like constantly just flipping between these books, which not really I think a criticism on them, just I've been tired enough that I haven't really wanted to put like full brain power into anything. So I am started on some of them, and I'm really hoping that when I'm at the airport, because I'll be getting there again, I'll have time to chill. I need a coffee, but I'll have time to chill before my flight. Then we have a 4-hour flight, lots of time to read, unless I nap, which could be lovely. And I think I could probably get 1 or 2 of these done, which would be pretty nice. That'd be fantastic going home having so many of these books done. But let's like actually just update on where we're at on all of these. I'm also like ridiculously tired right now, like so bad. The 2-hour time change has been enough that I've just been like struggling at night. Like last night I went out to dinner at 7 p.m. with a friend, and really didn't realize that like for me that was 9, and that's when I normally go to bed, so it was a struggle after that. And then even like I slept in so late today, but it was still like, it was rough. So 3 I started. Let's first start with Blood of My Monster by Rena Kent. I'm 31% into this one, and this is the second time I'm giving Rena Kent a try, and honestly I don't think she's necessarily going to be for me, just based on the vibes that I'm getting from this one. Maybe this is a bad one from her, I don't know, but I hear so many people like rave about her stuff, but I'm not seeing it, unfortunately. This one, we have a woman, she is disguised as a man and enters an army. Vague. We don't know. One thing I'm hating about this, we don't really know the setting of where this army is taking place, what they're fighting, but they're presumably fighting something. We know so little structure of what world we're in right now, and I am hating them. But she disguises herself as a man to enter this army and find the people who were responsible for the death of her parents and get her back. And she, really trying. She tries to make herself like as strong as possible and like really impress this one captain so that she can be brought into his elite squad, because she thinks that will give her the best opportunity. And where we're at right now, so her squad leader like almost immediately looked at her and was like, yeah, this is a woman. Like, it was very much like, I don't know if she wants to be a male and is just hiding herself as that, or if she's hiding some secrets. But he's like, none of my business, don't really care. And she at the same time seems like very attracted to him. And then I don't know if this is a spoiler, so I don't know if you care, but very quickly realizes that his father was the one who was responsible for the death of her family, and now she is, I guess, trying to figure out what to do with that. I'm not enjoying this one at all. There's so many plot holes and so many things that like, I'm sure they'll get hopefully addressed as we go on, but I am not enjoying it at all. Like, I just think that so many things are open-ended. There's so many things that are not clear, and the writing is also not great, for being very honest. So maybe this was not the one to give a try to by Rena Kent, but yeah, so far not feeling it at all. Luckily the other 2, I'm having a much better vibe. So Painted Scars, we are following the head of a mafia family. He was recently in a very bad car accident, so the car blew up and caused severe damage to his legs. So he's currently in a wheelchair while he regains strength. It's said that, so he's in a wheelchair but is still learning slightly how to rewalk, but because he is now in a wheelchair, a lot of the other mafia families, I guess, are thinking that he's weaker, and for some reason the fact that he has not been with a woman since he was in this accident like 5 months before, it is shown that they all are feeling like he has lost his edge because of that. So he sets up a fake marriage where he's bringing in the daughter of somebody who owes him a lot of money, and they they've made an agreement that she will fake marry him and just kind of to work on his perception, make him look like he's still more powerful. And she goes along with it because the alternative is her father will be killed. And yeah, they're very immediately just like getting along so well. They seem to immediately become like almost best friends. And then she, I wouldn't even say is falling for him, but she's just very much like fully entrenched herself in his life. She's like so completely unfazed by the whole like mafia aspect of this. Like I don't think her father's involved per se, but he did borrow a bunch of money that he was then unable to repay. But she seems like so unfazed by the fact that they're doing illegal activities. Though I do have to say, we don't really get any reference to what they're really doing in this one. There's like a lot of reference of like, oh, I'm the bad guy, blah blah blah, but nothing that's like very inclusive what they are doing. But yeah, still enjoying this one. Enjoying this one a lot. I think that this one is really fun. Pretty short too. It's like under 300 pages. So that's always fantastic. And the final one I started was Mafia Mistress, which I think, so if we're ranking these, we were kind of unintentionally going from my least favorite to my favorite. Loving this one. So we're following the daughter of a Toronto mafia boss. He makes an arrangement for her on her 18th birthday that she's going to be married to the son of a mafia leader in Italy, who's like supposedly like the most famous one. But she is like immediately attracted to the father, who is the head of this mafia family. And also so we're following both their perspectives, and he is intensely attracted to her as well. So even though she was basically kidnapped, brought against her will to Italy to be married to his son, the entire time that they're there, she and this father, they are flirting with each other and like really fighting this attraction that they have to each other. She is like 100% not willing to be in Italy, but at the same time is like not trying very hard to get away, because I think she's just so into this guy and doesn't necessarily want to leave because she's really curious to see what happens. And she thinks of like his son, they get along fine, but there is like zero connection there. They have like no interest in actually being with each other, and that is like so apparent from basically the first time they meet. I'm liking that. It's like not feeling like she's cheating on her current fiance or anything, because they are forced into this arranged marriage and they are not into it at all. But it is absolutely going to be going towards a romance between her and the head of this mafia family, so the father. And I'm into it. I'm really into it. It is like, this one I think is definitely the sexiest of the ones that we've read so far too, which is nice. And yeah, definitely the most into this romance. So I'm really vibing with this one, and really I would say definitely the one that I'm enjoying the most. So that's great. So yeah, there we go. We have started 3 more of them. I really quickly need to finish packing up and get ready to check out and then head to the airport. So I'm gonna have tons of time to read. Maybe we will finish some stuff. That would be amazing. I would be so happy with that. I'll probably check in when I'm home tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. Hi, I'm home. I've made progress on books, and I am going to push to try and see if I can get this video done today, which would be incredible. So I'm wearing a Villain Lovers t-shirt, which, let me stand up, from Book Babe Design Shop. And like, honestly, I feel like with mafia romance, this is fitting. We know that like a lot of the men are very morally gray, so of course that kind of works. So we finished one book yesterday. I ended up reading some different stuff on the plane, so I didn't really end up like truly focusing on the mafia romances, but we finished Painted Scars, so this was one where we had an arranged marriage so that this one father could like kind of pay off his debts that he owed to a mafia boss. And in theory, I really liked it. I really like these arranged marriages type of stories. Like I find that they tend to be things that I really enjoy. So of course, like I did enjoy this one. We'll just let him leave. It's funny, like when I'm talking, he either immediately runs over to be part of it or he has to like leave the room because I'm bothering him way too much. So there was this arranged marriage and like it was good. Like I really, really enjoy this trope of an arranged marriage where they end up falling for each other. Like those are things that I enjoy. I do enjoy it. I think that this one just really no, I'm not gonna say it failed, but one of the things that it could have been improved on was that it was short. And sometimes I like that with romances. I do enjoy sometimes when you're going into it and you know it's just a quick fun time, but I do find that for me to get more emotionally involved and to really want to rate a book higher, it has to be a little bit longer. Like I have to really feel entrenched in their world and like really spend a lot of time. Also with the yarning, I need like a little bit of a build up. I need kind of those things to it. So something that doesn't necessarily have those, you know, sometimes does not work for me. So it was good. Like it did work for me. I think that this one could have benefited from like another 100 pages. I think that honestly would have like made this one so much better for me because it was lacking in some of the world building and in some of the character development. Yeah, like story premise, very fun, just needed a little bit more. And I think part of the issue I was having with it too is that we didn't really learn a whole lot about the mafia business itself that we were following. Like we knew that our main character was the head of the family, but we really didn't know a whole lot about what he was actually doing. And I guess like we don't need to know like what their mafia is involved in. Like you can kind of assume it's in like drugs or clubs or whatever, but just something aside from him being like, oh, I'm the evil guy, blah blah blah, we're doing murders, we're fighting over things. I would have liked just like a little bit more on that. So I think I'm gonna give this one a 4 stars. So like still despite these issues, I enjoyed it a lot, and while I would have liked it to be longer, it was very good for what it was and very like quick to the point and just fun. So this one was a win. I've made more progress too of Blood of My Monster by Rena Kent. Still not enjoying this one. I really wanted Rena Kent to be an author I like, and I don't know if it's gonna so yeah, we're still following this female character. She is pretending to be a male as part of this army, and she got in with this commander to be part of his like elite force. He immediately recognizes that she's a woman and he is very like into her and he's keeping her secret, but he is also the son of this like huge mafia leader, which we learn, and he ends up eventually going to take over the family mantle. And like I'm not into it. Like there's not enough details about the world building. Like first of all, this whole part when they were in the army, it said they were in Russia, the Russian army. There was so little details about what they're actually doing and what they're fighting, why they're being killed, like all these things. We had no information. And now they're in New York and it's like same thing, like we're being dropped into all these family politics and like all of this things and fighting and stuff, and it's not enough details. I am not enjoying it. I don't really like the characters. I don't really like there's just not a lot that I'm liking. I don't feel like this is very well done, and I wonder if it's one of her earlier books, but like either way, I do not feel like this one is a well done mafia romance. It is missing way too much. So I'm like just under 70% done of that one, and I am going to really try to aim and finish that one up soon because I want that one to be over and then go into the other books and yeah, just enjoy the rest of it, you know. And oh my god, I almost completely forgot to mention, but when I was at the airport yesterday, they actually had like a little bookstore, which, you know, some airports do. I always get so excited when I see like a dedicated space to a bookstore, and I had so much fun going through it because I don't really live close to any bookstores at the moment, so you know, I pretty much just rely online. But it was so fun just like browsing. I found so many books that I wanted to read, and then I'm gonna look up and see like if I can get on like KU or Libby. And I did end up getting a copy of Sunrise on the Reaping, which so intensely excited for. I was gonna get it from the library, but like the wait was 8 months long, and I don't have that patience. I know I'm gonna love this. I know it's one that I want to own anyways because I don't have the other Hunger Games books. I know that they're at my parents' house, and I just like don't really visit often enough to like slowly move over all of my teenage books, which is one of the goals. I'm gonna slowly, as I visit, bring back more and more books, but I do have to fly from there, so I can only bring back like a very limited amount every time. So eventually I will have all the copies in hand, but I just of course I love this series. I love all this world, so I want to own that. So yeah, that was my one purchase, and I'm really happy about it. So done Blood of My Monster, and it was not it for me. Really, really not it. I really didn't enjoy any of this. It was a 2-star. Yeah, there was just so many things about it that I just don't feel like worked in any way for me. I didn't see, like, it was very much more lust than romance. I feel like there wasn't anything that convinced me that these characters had feelings. Also, I don't know if they were supposed to, even, like, where it ended off. I don't know if they're really supposed to be feeling anything for each other. But yeah, it didn't do it. It didn't do it. Wasn't interested in the characters, wasn't interested in this revenge story that our female main character is going through, wasn't interested in any of the bits about like why she's hiding her gender and fighting in this army, wasn't interested in the male main character's like journey to become the leader of his mob group. There was a bunch of like infighting, a bunch of dynamics and all these things going on there, and none of it was interesting. It just really, really did not work in any way for me. And I think I'll give Rena Kent one more try, and then after that I'm really gonna just say no, not for me, not worth it. Because yeah, I just keep getting so disappointed, and I did not enjoy this one. Even the sexual aspect of it, I don't like a lot of dark romances for certain ways, because I find the consent lines are very blurred in some cases, and that was very much the case here. I would say the consent was dubious at best, and it did eventually go to a point where they had a sexual relationship, but I feel like the initial parts of it, sorry, I'm like just playing with my books here, but I feel like the initial parts of it I did not feel comfortable reading about and what was going on with them. So yeah, 2 stars. Now I'm like excited to go into the rest of the books though, because I really have been enjoying Mafia Mistress, and I am excited to do the last one too, because I can't remember the premise, but I do remember when I heard it I was excited. And today's been going great. We've had a very productive day. I filmed a book haul video, which is great. Finished off another vlog where I had finished the final book in that one and just needed to update, and did a bunch of cleaning. So we have like 2 loads of laundry in so far. We're doing great. Like, it's just a nice productive day at home, which feels amazing. So really happy about that, and I'm hoping the productive vibes will just keep going. I want to work out later, want to keep reading, maybe finish another book today. Like, we're on a good path to hopefully get quite a bit done. I do want to film like some Instagram reels and stuff, so that might take up a bit of my afternoon. I really like to try and be ahead of it and get like a lot of things scheduled as early as possible, so that might take up a good portion of my afternoon. But yeah, it's going good. It's going really good. I'm having a good vibe for today. might hear my husband a little bit in the background, but wanted to update and say last night I stayed up late. I finished a book and I got 60% into another one. So guess what, friends? We are doing amazing. We are just powering through this, and we are definitely going to finish this off today because I cannot wait to dive back in. So first off, let's talk about Mafia Mistress, which is the one that I finished. And so first off, I'll say this ended on a crazy cliffhanger, which I did not realize that this was a duology. Like nothing about, I don't know, nothing. I guess I did no research into it, but I did not realize that this was duology. I thought like it would probably be like maybe an interconnected series, if anything, but no, it was like, you know, we were getting to that 80% mark, 90% mark, and things were not resolving. And I was getting so stressed out because things got really wild in this one. And I'm just getting so stressed because it did not seem like things were going to wrap up. And I was like, we can't end a book without knowing like all of these things. And then of course it ended on the craziest cliffhanger ever. And now I desperately need to go into the next one. I did immediately download it. And I think as soon as I'm done When She Unravels, I will be reading that just because I need to know. I really need to know what happens because so many things happened that just like, you know, like so many exciting things that I really need to see where this book is going to go. So yeah, this book overall, it was very addicting. I do have to say, like I was really into the relationship, really into just all the drama that was going on because there was so much. And I think this is definitely making me realize like one thing I enjoy a lot is like I do enjoy marriage at conveniences. I enjoy like arranged marriage books, and a lot of those do take place in mafia romances because it ends up just being like for business arrangements and all of that. So it's one of the few like contemporary books that have this trope, and I think this is going to be something that I really enjoy. And like I don't know if the mafia aspect itself that's the driving force behind what I like it, or just just, you know, I enjoy these marriage arrangement things. So that might be more of what I enjoy. But I do really, really deeply enjoy that trope in book. And there's a few things that, like, now that I'm thinking about it, feel a little weird. And I didn't realize. So one thing, our female main character, she's only 18 in this book, and that's fine. She is legal. The male main character, I think he's in his 40s, which, you know, kind of not really, you know, I do feel very weird about that when I think about it. But honestly, in the book, I kind of forgot about it because she does not seem 18, and she definitely was written much, much older, but we're expected to, like, remember that she's that young and hasn't really experienced life. But, like, her character does not come off at all. So I really, really forgot about that until we got to the ending of the book. And then when I started to think back on it, I was like, I don't like that much of an age gap. If I do, I want the, you know, female main character to be at least in her, like, mid-20s or something, just something that it doesn't feel as gross. And that's one thing that, thinking back, I'm like, could have done without that. And also in this book, there was, I guess it's just part of their culture, but there was this really, really gross emphasis on virginity and women being pure. And that just grossed me out so much, where our female main character, she had previously had sex with someone before this arranged marriage. And because of that, she was seen as, like, an impure bride, like, spoiled good. Like, these are words that were said about her, and it's just gross. It was really, really gross. Like, that's something that I deeply did not enjoy about it. So it just feels like, again, like, there was a very, very, like, I'm sure, I guess this goes with a lot of mafia books, but it was very misogynistic in a lot of ways, very homophobic too. There was a huge plotline about homophobia, and it just, a lot of things that are just gross in that sense. And, you know, they're the type of things that kind of make me not want to necessarily pick up books like this in the future, because as much as I enjoyed certain tropes, like, just having those themes so present in the book, they're just gross, and they're not really things that I necessarily want to read about. So overall, though, really enjoyed it. I will say, like, those things are kind of what are stopping me from giving it a higher rating. I'm giving it 4 stars, but I don't really feel like I can give it any higher because there were just so many things like that I was finding a little bit gross, and, like, you know, could kind of stop me from fully getting invested. So yeah, really enjoyed it though overall, and it's making me really, really excited to get to the next one, because yeah, crazy cliffhanger it ended on. And then I started When She Unravels, which is the final book that we're reading on this one, and this has an interesting premise. So we're following, once again, the daughter of a mafia boss. She is in an arranged marriage with one of the enforcers of her father's, what do I want to say, like, team, his group, his mom, I don't know. But he's an enforcer, and he's known as being, like, very sadistic and, like, fully, like, torturing his victims and everything. So her father doesn't care about her, decides to gift her basically to him as a present, and they're married. And because of, I guess, his sadism and stuff, he forces her to be involved in killing all of his victims. And he does it with the guise of, if she doesn't help, he will kill their housekeeper, who she's very close with. And she's forced to really get involved with, like, every person that he brings back, because they have a torture lair in their basement, basically. We're following one day. He brings back a young woman who, very young, reminds our female main character a lot of her younger sister, and something in her snaps, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. They'd also only been married for about 2 months. So she said, like, on average, she'd bring back one person a week. So it wasn't a crazy amount, but it was still, like, significant amount of people to kill. But something in her snaps, she decides to help this girl out. She shoots her husband. They both escape, and the young girl, she gives her some money. She jumps on a plane, and then our female main character ends up kind of just jumping on the same plane, because she's like, you know what, why not? I'm gonna get away. I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna change my life. I'm going to get a fresh start. Ends up going away, I think, to Barcelona, and then from there to Ibiza, and completely restarts her life. So she's posing as a young student, basically somebody who's she's just posing as somebody who's, like, you know, looking for seasonal work, gets a job at a club, changes her name, all these things, and ends up getting the attention of the club owner, who is this, you know, like, very sexy businessman. I'm sure he has mafia connections. He has to, but we don't really know about that immediately. But she ends up getting his attention, and very quickly they start, like, kind of an infatuation that turns into a sexual relationship, and it's going from there. So she's very, very much trying to hide her information, trying to hide who she is, and not let anything slip about why she's here, why she's running away, all of these things. And I'm sure he's definitely going to find out, and it's going to be something wild, especially if he's involved with the mafia. So I'm very, very intrigued with this one. I think it is going to go in an interesting route. Like, I'm just very excited to see where this story goes, because I think it has a lot of ways that it could potentially get very dramatic, very intense, and I'm down for that. very, very down, I have to say. So yeah, super excited. So I am done when she unravels and really, really enjoyed this one. Actually, I am gonna give this one 4 stars. Also ended up being very exciting in a lot of ways, filled with a lot of drama, and like, I don't like, just enjoyable overall. It was one I'm honestly ended up being a little bit surprised that it was, at least as far as I can tell, a standalone. So it's not a standalone, but it's like the only book about this couple. There's a connected series of connected standalones, if that makes sense. And I'm a little bit surprised that this is the only one following this couple, just on the way some of the things ended off. There was a potential transition of power, a few things that seemed like they were gonna go like really wild, and that could lead to some really, really crazy things happening. So that made me a little surprised that that one's done, or not that one's done, that this book is the only one for this couple. And I'm sure we're gonna follow some of those repercussions in the other books to follow, but yeah, still a little bit surprised on that. Also, it felt a little bit at the end like a lot of things got very suddenly wrapped up. There were certain things that were forgiven that happened very, very quickly, in my opinion, but otherwise still really enjoyed it. I think it was very fun for what it was. So there we go. I finished reading some mafia romances, and overall say this went pretty well. I think definitely realizing I enjoy ones that have the like arranged marriage convenience type of things in it, because those happen to be tropes that I already really, really enjoy. So I think it's kind of like, if it has tropes that I already think are very, very fun, I think that can kind of lead to me much preferring the book itself. The mafia aspect of it doesn't necessarily play into why I enjoy it as much, but it's something that's there, and sometimes I like it. So we are gonna be wrapping this video up with that, and I'm really, really happy just overall about how this one. I definitely like, so I'm gonna be continuing the next book on Mafia Mistress. That is immediately, like pretty much as soon as I put this camera down, I'm starting on it. And then I did download the next book for When She Unravels too, so it's pretty good. That's pretty good that I found 2 more that I want to continue on in, and yeah, that definitely makes me happy. So thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be continuing on in this series again, so I will be doing another romance trope coming very shortly, probably within the next weeks or so. I think the next one will be Marriage of Convenience, which we did follow a few books in this one that had that trope, but kind of want to do a video devoted to entirely just books revolving around that, and let's see what we can find. So hope you enjoyed this one. Hope I will see you in a video soon. Bye.